Yo, 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 what is going on, COD Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and here today we are going to be going over the upcoming, or we should say, I guess, T1 season matchups that we have for you. We're going to be talking about who's fighting who, where have players, we should say alliances, landed, and what do the Zone 2 matchups look like, along with maybe giving you some of my early-ish predictions as we go through, or possibly towards the end. We're also going to be coming out with a later video that's going to be a deep dive on the PvP comparison data once all the alliances get to their max capacities, or most of them do, and we get closer to Zone 2 opening. So we're going to start off by giving you a lay of the land for the map, and then I'm going to go in and show you the spreadsheet. However, I'm not going to show you all of the groups in one page. I'm going to do it kind of cell by cell, so it'll kind of be one by one. So let's start with an overview, because again, that'll be important so you'll understand what we're looking on the sheet as I go through everything. So with Zone 1, remember in the T1 season map, we have Kaltia, we have Sophrostia, we have Novola, we have Doralin, we have Zoland, and we have the Burning Lands. These make up your Zone 1. Zone 2s are Parhelion, can also be indicated by the level 2 spires. Level 1 spires are in Zone 1. Then we go over here to Beligira, or Beligera. I'm curious on how people are saying that. Another Zone 2, and then we get over to TFL, or the Forgotten Lands, which is the third Zone 2. So 6 Zone 1s, 3 Zone 2s. Then we get into the Zone 3s. Now these are pretty standard for those of you that have played S1 or S1+. We have Lorcan, also indicated by the level 3 spires. We have a Goru, also indicated by the level 3 spires. And then on the west side, we have Hollandale, level 3 spires. So those make up the 3 Zone 3s. Then we have the Zone 4, which is Atherin, or where the dragon is, / where the level 4 spires are. So pretty easy to kind of make those up. Now, let's go ahead and transition over to the goods, because again, I know you all like the nice visual aids. It should be noted, as I go and show this off, that for any of the alliance matchups, that, again, if they're different, if I'm missing someone, if there's someone on there that maybe shouldn't be on there, please feel free to let me know, and I will make those appropriate adjustments prior to the Zone 2 fighting coming up. So this is my risk it to get the biscuit sheet, as most of you have probably seen this. This is my personal private sheet where I keep track of all the KVKs, and I go through all of them once they start in Season 2, 2+, and now T1. And I typically go through them every 2 to 3 days for updates. And this allows for me just to have a nice overview of the entire game, on where all the fighting, on where all the action is, as most players are very courteous. And I just want to say also, let me state before we get started, that I want to give a huge thank you. There's too many names to mention, but for those of you, if I ask in World Chat, or if I reach out to people in DMs in game or on Discord, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to reply. For those of you that are in a position or are able to provide information at that time, or if you're able to do it later, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Okay, so we have, and I'm not going to go in these in any particular order. I actually have this order based on the first kingdom number, because that makes it easier for me to go top down, starting from my S1 account all the way down. So it's more convenience for me. But we have ST1-5, which is ST1-2305. I just do it like this because it's shorter and it makes sense to me. So if you hear me say that, that's what that means. This group is comprised of 25, 42, 56, 58, 69, 77, 78, 80. And the matchup here is as such. So we have 69 DS, formerly SK1, PNX, ROE, BSO, CT Sky, versus 42 TC, TC42, EP77, HZ, CK1, UDF, and Temp. Now, again, as I said, if this changes or if it's different, please feel free to let me know. So now going in, you can see that the groups at the moment are 19.7 billion, going up against 34.3 billion. This data was just accumulated for their current alliance power, taken before I started the video. Now, when it comes to Zone 2, we have TC42, 42 TC. If there's a question mark here, that just means that the enemy, or who they could be going up against, is just unknown at the moment based on the adjacent zone. So for that, we have a question mark. So again, if they don't end up seeing any action, there's a chance that they just might get a free Zone 2. Then we have 69DS versus CK1, HZ, EP77, FX77 at Beligira. So that could be a nice matchup. And then we have UDF versus, again, might get a free Zone 2 going into the Forgotten Lands. Now let's move up to the next one. Here we have ST1-8. This is comprised of 24, 33, 38, 40, 45, 50, 57, 63, 72. This is Dora and HRT going up against FS, 066, and TDR. However, they have been renamed, and I probably should make this adjustment because it's hyphen 66 now. So I'll just do something like this because that probably makes a little bit more sense. But it's FS, hyphen 66, and TDR. It's 8 bill, and then at the moment 20 bill is the amount of power they'd be going up against. I didn't see if you ever see a question mark here for the alliances, that's just because they haven't made a center fortress yet, so they're not showing up on the either that and or they're not showing up on the tower poll. For some of the groups that just got in to T1 season, because remember, you have to finish the first Augerstone chapter, which I think is 2 days, before the Alliance power rankings will show up. So for 6 of the groups, those haven't shown yet, but for 3 of the groups, they have. Basically, the ones that say 2 or more chapters have shown up, and the ones that say 4 or more chapters, Alliance rankings, have not shown up yet. But that's where the matchup is. You can see here, we have Squiggly TDR, hyphen 66, might get a free zone 2 into Parhelion. Dora, not seeing a matchup, and then FS, not seeing a matchup. Again, this is based on the moment from what I've been told. So, as I've always said, right, please feel free to let me know in the comments if that's changed, or if you guys know what it is, I'll make sure to update the sheet. Then we get into ST1-4. This is 23, 26, 34, 39, 54, 61, 67, 75, and 86. Matchup here is TFS, EXG, EXXL, Meow, versus BXS, EIS, RTG. This is probably going to be one of the most anticipated matchups, at least as it pertains to it being pretty balanced right now. You can see that the difference at the moment, and that's, again, until I can see what Meow's power is, because unless they've renamed and it's a different alliance name, I don't know. Because I don't know. Someone told me it's Meow. But they might have maybe already made it. I tried looking to see if I could see Meower as the lead on any of the alliances that have already been made, but again, maybe someone else is leading it, I'm just not sure of. But at least as of now, until we factor in the power for Meow. And then now that I'm thinking about it, someone did already tell me that some of the people from Meow joined TFS, so maybe the players just ended up joining, or they will be joining. I guess once they get to their max capacity. I think I saw them at 190 a little before recording. So that could be the case as well. And if so, maybe I need to remove this. I'll wait for someone to let me know. But let's say the latter is the case and there isn't going to be a fourth alliance and then it's just a 3v3. Personally, again, based on total power, this is pretty balanced. We still need to get into the weeds and actually look at what the T5 distribution ratio looks like, and then what does the 100 mil plus ratio looks like, if we're talking top 200 or for all of those alliances that are participating, because I think that'll also give us actually a clearer picture overall. But for those of you that are looking for at least, again, what is probably going to be a banger of a group to watch, this is definitely it. And again, I'm saying that based on me having all the information, if not most of the information that I need to make such an assessment. Now let's go to the next group. ST1-3. This is 22, 35, 36, 37, 44, 46, 52, 64, and 70. We have GNJA, GNJB, TI, DUA, FGHT, Gray versus FSK, FSK2, TRE, and VP22. Current total powers is 25.3 billion versus 22.7 billion. Bear in mind, I don't have any numbers for TI, but at the moment, this is a 2.5 billion difference. So this is not that bad, and I'm hoping this could potentially turn out to be a really good matchup. So this could be one to watch as well. Again, potential fights. Oh, and I don't think I covered that for the TFS group, but we had, I think right here, right? So it's KNQ, which could be the matchup maybe for EXXL if that happens. BXS, RTG, AIS are probably going to get a free Belagira, and then EXG, TFS are probably going to get a free Forgotten Lands, right? Based on how this looks. As far as the matchups on either side. Then the one we're on now, which is FSK, FSK2, they might get a free zone 2 going to Parhelion. VP, 22 TRE. Again, if they fight, the opportunity for that can happen between JNJB, JNGA, and DAU and Belagira. Or Belagira. Belagira, maybe? That sounds okay. But then Gray and FGHT might get a free zone 2 going into Forgotten Lands. Let's go to ST1-2. This is 8, 27, 48, 55, 65, 66, 71, 74, and 84. This is PTW versus ANCS versus A Squiggly C. So I've been told this is a three-way. And the powers right now is 10.3 billion for PTW and CS 9.7, and then Ace Wiggly C 9.1, right? So about a 1.2 billion that separates 3 from 1. You can see their starting regions at the moment. The only matchup that could potentially happen here would be Ace Wiggly C versus PTW in Belagira. And again, that's 1 versus 3, right, for the 1.2 bill difference. That's what I know as of now. Very interesting, the way that this is playing out. So again, possibility, right, to see some Zone 2 action. We'll see how that plays out. We get to ST1-9. This is 5, 7, 10, 28, 32, 59, 62, 82, 88. This is Noir, Dawn, ROZ, FG, CRFA versus VVV Sasa, which is great. There's a little Latin flavor there. SASA, R-R and STFO. Right now, you can see power is 30.3 billion and then 24.2 billion. All the data has been accumulated for, at least based on what we know at this moment, right? So this is a 6 billion power differential. Potential matchups basically right now are in every Zone 2. This is the only KVK that we've seen thus far that actually could have matchups happening in every Zone 2. So first one could be Noir CFRA versus VVV in Parhelion, STFO versus Dawn in Belagira, and then we have FG ROZ versus R Squiggly R and Sasa and TFL Forgotten Lands. Let's go to ST1-6. This is 6, 29, 49, 68, 73, 76, 81, 83, 87. And this matchup could be GG13 or is GG13, GG83, Owl, DBB, and Hoot versus ROE, ROA, Arkham, ARKM, NTS, and Nuts. And the power differentials here, 36.9 billion, 35.8. I mean, this is darn close, right? Very similar to the TFS, BXS, EIS group. This could be one to watch. And I am potentially really excited for this because it's basically a 5v5 right now for what I've been told. The power is incredibly close to being balanced. Like we said, a 1.1 billion difference. And on top of that, potential for 2 out of 3 of the Zone 2 fights that could happen, which one is ROE ROA versus DB Owl Hoot in Parhelion, GG13, GG83 versus NTS NTI in Belagira, and then we have Nuts, Arkham, which again, they may not fight anyone in Forgotten Lands, so that could be a free Zone 2. Let's get into ST1-1. This is 3, 4, 31, 41, 47, 53, 60, 79. This is BDO, RKO, POTC versus MILF, DKCOC, formerly known as GD. Power right now is 25 bill, going up against 22.7 bill. And I have to remember that I can remove this because we already know what that is. So this is not that bad. I mean, this is 2.3 billion difference, right? So a little bit. I don't know if I would say that's overwhelmingly impactful, but it is a factor. Again, when we look at the matchups, basically potential for no fights and probably just free Zone 2s overall, where you have POTC, RKO, that are on, I think they're on opposite sides right now for this one. And then similar with DK, MILF, COC on opposite sides of the Zone 2. So there's just a better chance that they'll probably get those for themselves. And then BDO is probably going to end up getting a free TFL for their Zone 2 and Forgotten Lands. Then we get to the last group, which is ST1-7. This is 1, 2, 9, 30, 43, 51, 85, 89, 90. We have TATM versus NKNW. Now, I have been told that they're going to be fighting probably in Zone 3 and Final Zone, but that there's the possibility that they might be merging together or attempting to join each other at the end of the season. I don't know how much truth there is to that, but they have said that they are planning on fighting, right? It's not just going to be kind of a walkover season, so to speak. And then, of course, you end up having Bakar, BKAR, and GGKM that are going up against each other, so we're probably going to see that fight happening in Zone 2, Parhelion for them, which is the central southern Zone 2 that we showed off. Right now, power for TATM is 13.3 billion, NKNW 16.3 billion, and then Bakar 7.3, GGKM 6.6, so about a 700 mil differential. And that pretty much rounds out what we got for the matchups that we know so far for the Zone 2 that we could potentially see the fighting happening in, and then also when the chapters are coming up, right? Again, I put those in purple for 4 more chapters or 2 more chapters, right? So if they're on a current chapter, I don't count that one. I just count the ones that haven't been unlocked yet, or the ones that are locked still. It's another way of saying that. However, as I've said in the beginning, if there's any updates that I need to make to any of the matchups on my sheet, please just let me know. You can reach out to me in a DM on Discord if you want to post a comment. Again, I prefer the Discord reach out, but if you want to also post a comment letting us know if something has changed there, And then on top of that, what are you looking forward to, right? I know I already talked about a couple matchups that I'm looking forward to. I think there's like 3 so far that I think are pretty balanced that could be very exciting as long as that holds up in the long term. But are you excited for any matchups to see? Are there any that you wish, man, would be a little bit more balanced and maybe you'd really be enjoying that? If you're in any of these matchups, what are you looking forward to? And better yet, who are you looking forward to crush? Just let me know. Let us know in the comments down below. That's going to do it for me. As always, until next time, I'll catch you later.